Whoa!
Here I am sweating like Patrick Ewing. This is Cory and this is the O The Anthem podcast.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob. Welcome to episode 261 of the O The Anthem podcast. Or, if you're Cory, episode 262. Or, if you're a normal person, season 6, episode 1 of the O The Anthem podcast. Coming to you from the hashtag OTA LA studios, high above the 110 freeway in downtown Los Angeles, California, which you just got a nice little glimpse of, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for telling people. Thank you for rating and reviewing all those things. Appreciated by us.
And of course, you can find more O The Anthem at O The Anthem on Twitter and Instagram. If you're watching right now, you're checking us out at facebook.com/O The Anthem. Of course, you can find all the videos at youtube.com/O The Anthem and everything O The Anthem related at OTheAnthem.com.
Yeah. So
let's start right there. How about that?
Yeah. First, the first thing you saw right up front, the new theme song, the new video.
Nice.
Labor of Love done right there.
Yes.
We've been talking about doing that for literally 5 years now.
Yeah,
and finally got around.
Good thing to get around to.
Get around to it.
Season 6, episode 1. Here we go. Brand new start.
In addition, we have a whole bunch of other new announcements here. We wanted to get it right up to up front. There will be a brand new OTheAnthem.com.
Yes.
Unveiling very soon. I was hoping that it would all work out today, but WordPress did not want to oblige with that dream of mine. So
in hindsight, I hope the video wasn't muted on the intro right there. It's the first time we've ever run it. I'm hoping it wasn't muted. I'm sure it's fine. It's fine. You know, we'll run it in just a couple minutes and you can hear it again just so you can run it through. But yeah, OTheAnthem.com.
I think it wasn't muted because it looked like it was.
It looked like it was moving,
it
right?
was bouncing a little bit too on the high end. So
yeah, I think so.
It might have been a little loud too. That might be the other problem.
Oh, good. Enjoy it. It's a rock song.
Rock out.
Yeah.
So brand new OTheAnthem.com coming very shortly.
Yes.
In addition, there will be a new podcast provider for this app. So
yes.
We will be switching over to Anchor here shortly.
Now, tell everybody why. Why are we switching over to Anchor?
Well, so Anchor was recently bought by Spotify. Mm-hmm. And basically what they wanted to do was create a place where it would be easier to sort of discover and host podcasts. And the idea being that you could upload all the episodes right there and it would go out to all the different podcatchers automatically, no back end, not having to worry about new ones coming up. It would just sort of automatically just add you to every single podcatcher as it came along. And that seemed like a wonderful solution for us. Plus, there's some other things that it'll allow us to do probably in not right away, but sort of things like when we have Jim on from across the country, we'll be able to sort of do that a lot smoother through Anchor. And sort of do it all in real time, which is going to be beneficial.
Also, the mobile app is pretty amazing. And the idea that something we've always tried to do and we've never really done successfully, except maybe in Denver, where we did a mobile version of the podcast. But, you know, when we were trying to go to Detroit, we tried to do it. We recorded one 12-minute section and that was it.
Yeah, we were going to do it like checking in on the road.
Yeah.
And it just never worked out the way we wanted it to. But hopefully this would allow for that as well.
Yeah, because it's just a mobile app on your phone. It's the app that you listen on, and then one of the tabs is, record your own podcast. Mm-hmm. And so we'd be able to record our different sections, put them together, and release them with very little work. Now, it won't sound as good as it sounds, obviously, you know, when we're
with
doing
the whole
here.
setup. But I mean, like, you know, when you're trying to record an episode on the go, if we're out somewhere.
Yes.
It's going to be way better to be able to just record something in the place than have to worry about coming back and setting up and everything.
And again, keep in mind, 261 or 2 consecutive weeks, depending on how you're looking at it.
Onto the rest of the news.
Yes.
This part of the news is brought to you by Robert N. Cheek, who has many things related to his movement universe.
Yes. Some other things we have going on. Obviously, you guys didn't hear this, but you have to listen tomorrow. New website going up. The new place to find the podcast at Anchor, which we're really excited about. Theme song, which you guys just heard again for the second time, hopefully the second time. Website. The new book is out.
Yes.
We've been talking about it for 8 weeks. So not listening to this right now, but very shortly within. I don't know, maybe
hours.
Tonight. Yeah, tonight or early tomorrow. The new book will be out. It's The Movement, Tales of Valor and Villainy.
Yep.
So basically, it's just a take on several new characters, people we haven't heard from before. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to bringing that out. I think maybe we'll take some time, like in a week or two, and kind of get further into it. Or do you want to do that now?
No, I think we have a lot on the docket today, and I'd rather spend the time
later on we can go talk
Valor and Villainy and like really get into it a little bit.
But if you check out the book and you like it, merch will be available. There's new merch on the website as well.
Yeah, the other part of this is since we made the move from Rob's original publisher to Variant Publishing, there's more opportunities for merch, and all that is available on the O The Anthem Spreadshirt page, which you can go to at otheanthem.com/store. And obviously on the new website, it's going to look a lot better than it does right now. But yeah, check it out. There's men's and women's available for both the calls and Tales of Valor and Villainy.
Yes. So make sure you check those out.
And more to come in the future as we have to redo book titles again.
Yeah. So again, then on the agenda now of my 9 projects that are currently open, one is to get the original Movement book back out again, to get Foe back out again. That's probably going to be the first one. Get Foe back out on bookshelves again, and then very soon the third and last book will be finally free and back in, and then I could sell the whole thing as a movie universe and retire to Boca. So that's really what we're looking forward to. But yeah, so a lot going on, and just trying to, I don't know, I want to say like make the best. It's not really making the best of a bad situation. It's just continuing to do good work and get stuff out there. So my hope is that this year there will be 6 books out. Got a lot of writing to do, so we'll have to see how that goes. But, yeah.
I always like, when you hear about success stories and like all the times that they tried to make something happen before, and it just like never really took, and then all of a sudden it's the one thing that just takes.
Yep.
So I mean, like I feel like anything that has led up to this moment is just like part of the learning process that eventually gets you to the. It's like every no's the thing that leads you to the yes.
Any number of things could be the one that breaks it. So isn't that nice? And one thing that's probably not on that list of things that will help us break it is next week's episode. So we're going to break our usual habit of recording on Mondays for Tuesdays and record on Saturday. Now, why would one make that decision, Cory?
Well, it is April 20th.
So we're celebrating Hitler's birthday. Cory, as you all know, is a member of the alt-right. It's a big celebration day for him.
Not. No, it's something that we started last year with California and its medicinal marijuana.
Yeah,
we thought we'd do a sort of Drinko de Mayo for
the other half.
For the other half,
yeah.
And if I remember correctly, last year, much like any time this has ever happened, you always are in this place where you're just like, I can't talk. I can't be responsible. I can't be the one who's responsible for doing any talking. And then as soon as you start getting going, you're like in this 18-minute long thing of just like, and that's when the Persians decided to take over.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that part where like right before we start recording, you just like look at me and you got like just the little tiny like pupils and you're just like, I can't be responsible for talking.
Which if you guys will, for those of you who are Patreon subscribers, is that only for Patreon? Maybe
the Denver one was.
Yeah. And there we were talking about how the driver who took us home, I was just like, I can't talk to this guy. You need to sit up front.
Maybe we should just release it as like a bonus.
It's got to be out there somewhere, right? Yeah. So, maybe the world needs to see that. Maybe they don't. I don't.
Maybe review it first. See what we said.
I don't know exactly what was said. I don't remember recording it specifically, so it could be problematic.
Yeah.
But and nonetheless, we will be doing Drinko de Mayo 5.
6.
Is it? No, it's not 6.
Yeah.
Is it 6?
Yeah.
Oh, Drinko de Mayo 6.
Season 6. We're in season 6 right now. So.
Drinko de Mayo 6 will be coming up in a few weeks. By the way, that's also friend of the show Roberto's birthday. If anybody wants to get him a present, it's easy to remember. Just Cinco de Mayo. But we will be celebrating a holiday before that next Saturday. Here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm not a huge fan of the high THC content nonsense. That's you. You like the Dumb and Dumber or whatever.
No.
Nonsense. I'm not a fan. So I think what I will do is just look for something that's like high CBD content and low THC, maybe like a 4-to-1 or 3-to-1 ratio, and get rid of my back pain. That's what I'll do. I'll get rid of my back pain.
Well, I mean, I would say that if the interest is to live comfortably without pain, then yes, high CBD things would probably be the way to go.
Yes.
If the idea is get high and entertain people on the podcast, then maybe a little bit more on the THC side.
More THC maybe. Okay, fair enough. So we'll keep that in mind. But consider joining us on Thursday or on Saturday.
The only thing is, and I just say this because in Vegas I went to one of their local establishments to peruse, and they were selling this vape pen with like 80% THC in it or something like that, and I'm like, no,
not for you.
No, that's
not for you.
That seems rather excessive. That seems like bringing a bazooka to shoot clay pigeons or something like that.
Are you calling your brain cells clay pigeons now? Not that I disagree with you. I'm just saying,
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, and okay, so I mean, speaking of that, check out the podcast. They're going to be out on Saturday at some point, depending on what Cory's work schedule. But we will be live on Saturday, where we can imbibe as we see fit. But you spent the last few days in Vegas. Speaking of Vegas,
yeah,
like working,
and I came back with some sort of horrible cold or flu, if you're wondering why my voice sounds like this.
Well, stop hanging out in whorehouses and you won't catch diseases. That's what I say. That's what my dad always said.
Yeah, so I went into town for the National Association of Broadcasters.
Went into town, yes.
Which is a big trade show for the TV and film people. And I had a wonderful time. There's a lot of things.
Sounds like you did.
There's a lot of things there that are way beyond my pay grade. Like, there are things like they sell like satellites for trucks and stuff like that. And those types of things, like, I don't need to know. Like, I just look at them and I'm just like, oh, that's cool. This costs $70,000. Neat.
Love to have that. Wouldn't that be nice?
But I think it's just more of like along the lines of like if, like you own a local Fox affiliate or something like that.
Yeah.
And you go into town to look at the tech and you're looking at satellite dishes too or stuff like that. I don't know.
Well, I feel like it's also the thing is like, we don't know this, but $70K for that satellite is a huge deal.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to look at that and be like, you see that? They're selling $70K for that. Somebody who's got the gold card? Let's do this. Let's get this done.
We're in under 6 figures on these satellite dishes now. It's ridiculous.
Get it.
Yeah. It's like I saw a camera that they had on like a string.
Yeah.
That just sort of like went back and forth. They were showing it at like the B&H booth.
Oh, there's one of those on Instagram you can get for way cheaper than that.
Well, it was like $200.
Yeah. The one on Instagram is like $45.
Yeah. And I'm just like, that type of technology before was just prohibitively expensive. But now people can do it for really cheap if they want to.
Yep.
And that's why like I was like messaging you going like, hey, whatever ridiculous idea you think we might possibly do in the future, just let me know and I'll look around and see what they're like working on.
I feel like I remember the string camera, but I would really just want to buy that the one on Instagram because it actually comes with like a little CO2 powered gun that you can like
yeah,
and then like you pin it in here, or actually I think you push it and force it in, and then like you flip it around and shoot it, and it creates the wire.
Yeah.
So you put the camera on it and drive it across. It just seems like fun.
Yeah.
Good old fashioned fun. Also,
shooting things.
When would you ever use that? That's the kind of thing like you have it and you just never use it. I don't know. Maybe just me.
I don't know. I imagine I would try and find some reason to use it, which is always the way you always say things about gear. You're just like, well, I'll find a way to use.
It'll be in the kit, man. I'll
much like we had the view of God last week on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like maybe we'd just have some sort of like going back and forth. Have like a motion aspect of the podcast, you know?
Let's go to the Madden cam, and here it is. It's going across. All right,
the quarterback cam.
Yeah,
we have it behind us.
It's just looking at your fingers, watching,
just going on the
buttons.
board.
Yeah, you guys get to see everything.
But yeah, there were a couple cool things that I saw. One thing that really blew my mind. I stopped by Microsoft at one point, and they were just having a little presentation, and there was a cartoon video of Pinocchio on the screen behind this guy who's doing the presentation. And he's mostly talking about like Microsoft cloud services and stuff like that for news media and things like that. But he's going along, and then Pinocchio is interacting with the things he's saying. So it's like, oh, and, with the OneDrive cloud storage, you have 10 gigs for every person on your news team. So plenty of space for all the files you might have to drop on the go. And then Pinocchio's in the back going like, that's amazing, And they're like putting him in different places. And like, Pinocchio's like doing, like, he's like dancing and doing all kinds of like, not just like standing there responding. He's like actually animated a bit.
Yeah.
And, I'm watching the presentation. I'm like, it's all right. It's kind of nerdy. Nothing I really need to know about right here. But then, like, right at the end, like, right as they were about to get out, they were just like, all right, so that's the presentation. Oh, by the way, we forgot to mention what I think is one of the coolest parts of this whole thing. This Pinocchio video, which was like 30 minutes long or something like that. He's like, this Pinocchio video we had done in 2 days on a Microsoft Surface. It was literally shot with an actor in front of a wall. They didn't even have to like mocap or green screen or anything like that. We just found a blank wall. We recorded the actor doing all the Pinocchio lines and movements, and then turned it in. The part that took the longest was actually designing the character.
Yeah.
But 2 days from beginning to end is how long it took to make this video. And they're just like, all right, see ya. Or any questions? And I'm just like, yeah, what'd you do? Like,
I'm sorry, what now?
Explain to me again how you did this. I'm like,
so wait, so it was AI in a way.
Yeah.
Because it was programmed to choose the right response to make it sound correct. Because it wasn't a shot of it as a video, right? Like was he on a script and the interacting?
What I imagined they had was kind of like cues.
Yeah.
So I imagine there was somebody, like, he didn't have to have it to perfect time to interact with Pinocchio.
But, like, you hit it and then it
switches
switches over.
But there was, like, a little bit of, like, from time to time, there was, like, a minute or two where it seemed like he was just like, what do you think about that, Pinocchio? And there was, like, just somebody a little slow on the trigger. And then he's
That's
just
amazing.
Like, he's just going from, like, standing there to, like, I love dancing.
Okay.
So,
all right. So it queued up, and it's one of those videos where it could be in stasis for a while.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be there dancing for a while, and then you hit the next cue, and it waits to the point at which you've done the cue shift.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the next thing.
Yeah.
But he can stand there dancing on it
Right.
as a GIF all night. Well, I mean, that's spectacular.
Yeah.
And if only we had something to use, Pinocchio for.
Well, I mean, you could have done any character, I assume. It's just
okay, all right.
They used Pinocchio for the sense of like being able to like use the not telling lies and stuff
I was gonna
like
say
that.
that the guy was lying the whole time.
No.
I figured that's what that was.
Just the nose key. It's like,
Or,
Microsoft is the best operating system for what you want to be doing in news. Oh my God, my nose is getting so big.
Yes. Or the guy was Geppetto and he likes to make little boys out of wood. Is that the message?
That's starting to unnerve me a bit.
I feel like I could come up with a lot of unnerving
I don't want to go
messages.
deeper down this road.
But NAB, right?
Yes.
NAB?
National Association of Broadcasters. A lot of fun. Definitely worth checking out if you're interested in that sort of thing.
And if you'd like to stay in Vegas for, $7 a night.
I wish. I had to book it so late. I couldn't take advantage of like all the great deals. That's always the problem is that if you want to book Vegas in the sweet spot of like 4 to 10 days out.
Okay.
Because that's when the prices seem to go down. And much like airlines, like if you get within 4 days, it just starts gradually getting more expensive.
Yeah.
So
Because there's people like us who make late
yeah.
decisions.
And they just take advantage of us. So
Yeah. Well, it's we talked about the holiday, 420 holiday, the 5/5 holiday, the NAB convention in Vegas. All these things just remind me of something. I can't really think of what. I feel like all of these things have something in common. Oh, your birthday is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hey. Well, tomorrow right now, today, if you're listening to this on your podcatcher of choice.
When it's released, and why wouldn't you?
Yeah, so make sure you're, get out and say hello and happy birthday to Cory tomorrow.
Come find me in the streets.
If you're in Los Angeles, and if you want to ride up him very quickly, just like, whoa, up in your car, that'd be great.
Just drive by, hang out the window, just be like, happy birthday.
Anything that just, by the way, you're riding the bike, you don't even hear him. You're just like, it's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
I like to imagine that no matter what, somebody's just driving by and like yells in my direction. I'm just like, thanks.
Thank you.
It's like I just imagine they say happy birthday. It's just like, hey, Dick, get out of the road. Thank you.
But yeah, so gonna be 35 years old.
Yeah, no, old.
How are you feeling about that?
I think I'd feel a lot more. I wouldn't feel as close to death as if I wasn't already sick.
Yeah.
Like there's sort of that feeling of like if you don't feel right on your birthday, it feels like you're
older.
like, oh, this is one more step closer to the grave.
Yep.
And if you're sick on your birthday, then it like adds to that. So hopefully I wake up tomorrow and I'm just like 100%. But I can't imagine that I will be because how out of it I feel right now.
2 years ago, today, we were in Vegas for your birthday.
Yeah.
And the boys were talking about Vegas for birthdays just a few days ago and realized that, unfortunately, you guys are adults now. How'd that happen?
Yeah,
You're working and stuff, and we're not going to be able to go to Vegas for your birthday.
I mean,
Celebrate it, but not like in close proximity.
It could happen, I guess. We never know, but...
Yes, I suppose. But we'll be outside of that sweet spot of 4 to 10 days. Yeah, so
true.
Got to be careful.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I love Vegas. We did Dirty 30 in Vegas.
We did.
Famously, so.
Yes.
It's always fun to have a Vegas birthday.
It's the chronicling that's happened over the last few years. We've chronicled all the birthdays in Vegas, all the Vegas trips. I'm trying to think. So my 30th, and then we went for your birthday last year. No, 2 years ago. Did we go last year too? No. It was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was just 2 years ago.
And then we went in the summer last year.
Yeah.
It's so close.
I know.
So close. It's just easy to go. Anyway, but so maybe we'll go celebrate birthday and or just go.
Yeah.
Still got to convince the ladies to let us go by ourselves.
I'm gonna go for a writing trip at some point. I've decided because I knocked out like 15 pages in one night. Just like being able to sit in the hotel and like the key, at least for me, is that like anywhere else I am, there's so many things that distract me.
Yeah.
In Vegas, I can literally just like lock the room, the hotel. I can sit there. I can smoke while I write, which helps me like just not get up and like it's all right there in front of me. And then as soon as you get tired, you can like walk away and get some food or something like that.
And there's no timers on it. There's no thing like, okay, I got to get out of here by 9:15 because everything's going to be closed by 10. If I don't get out of here and get some food, I'm going to be locked out all night. It's like, no. Oh, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Let's go find something.
Go to Sbarro's.
Yeah, it'll be fine. So like, I do like that as an advantage. However, we have to decide whether or not Roberto is going to be invited on the boys' trip because God knows he'll be a whiny little girl. It'll be just like having one of the wives there. So
He won't want to sit there quietly while we write.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. All right. Well,
he'll just be whining and talking about, take me to a show.
I want to see David Copperfield.
No, Brittany. Brittany's in her residency now, so he has to be subtly singing Britney songs, trying to give the hint. Like, yeah.
Taste of a lip balm on the run.
It's Brittany, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know what you mean. I guess.
Heard of Brittany before.
Yeah, Brittany's the thing, right?
Do you mind being quiet? We're recording right now.
I know. Gosh.
God.
See, you can't even get through this.
I know.
Singing Brittany in the room while we're recording.
Already distracting us while we're trying to do this show. Ugh.
Well, anyway, looking forward to my first Vegas trip of 2019. First one in a few months. I think the last time we went was the summer trip last year. So
yeah. It's been a little while.
Also,
I mean, not for me, but for everyone else.
I may go and just sleep the entire weekend. That would be nice. It'd be nice to just sleep and not wake up.
You don't have to go to Vegas for that. You can just go elsewhere.
I mean, yes, but I'd need like an empty bed, an empty apartment, or a room, and just to like get blackout drunk and
get like a Motel 6 in Northridge and.
Where am I going to come up with the $19.99 for that?
Oh Lordy.
Also, they frown upon you double fisting bottles of Jack Daniels in the lobby and then taking it up to your room and passing out.
Getting yard longs worth of alcohol.
Yeah, they frown on that. While in Vegas, it's encouraged. So it's a different lifestyle. But speaking of a different lifestyle, switching over to Cory's botch that transition.
Where
to
are we
church,
going with this?
Your church. Big news today out of Paris, France, as one of the oldest cathedrals in the world burned, not to the ground, but was heavily damaged.
Pretty substantially.
Yes, heavily damaged by fire. What was your... So Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris caught fire today. And it was basically on the news all afternoon about this big fire. Wouldn't know for people, I think that the Hausfraus were really up on this, but Roberto didn't know anything about it.
I haven't watched CNN in weeks, so I don't know any of this.
The Hausfraus are out of touch.
I mean, I just heard about it in passing through social media and stuff. But I wasn't like watching the. I also hate whenever something like this happens and it's just like continuing coverage of us watching a smoldering church.
Yeah, and people watched all day.
Yeah, Wolf Blitzer will just be like, they're saying that the internal temperature in there can reach up to 297 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm just like, I don't give a fuck.
Now, as you know, that's high enough to burn paper, but maybe not high enough to burn wood. So we may be in a position where the pews would survive this fire.
We have our wood expert on set to talk about whether or not the wood is in danger.
Big screen. Yeah, well, now, if we zoom in here, what we're going to see is the pews here from 1590, they're made out of balsa wood. That's going to burn like kindling. But if we go out here, we're going to see that the altar is oak. You need a hotter fire to burn oak.
I always like when there's some sort of tragedy too, and they bring in a specialist, and then he says something like he's really excited about some portion of the tragedy just because he studies it.
Yes.
He's just like, I've been wondering for a long time if 2,000-year-old wood burns at a quicker rate than normal wood, and this is going to give us a really great sample into that theory. It's just like, a church is on fire.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's terrible and everything like that, but we're going to learn about this 2,000-year-old wood burning, and I think that's it's the silver side of everything, right?
Now, I couldn't care less about the church.
The silver lining to everything.
I couldn't care less about the church. No gods, no kings, no slaves. I get that. But I am a little sad that I will now never get to see
the original?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things that I have friends of mine who've been to Paris. They've seen it. They've taken pictures. And they may rebuild it, but it won't be the original.
Right.
I think the two towers portion of it with the rose window in the middle survived. It was the spire at the other end of the thing that fell. So, I mean, some part of it, I guess, will survive, but it's just the idea that I'm not going to be able to see the original.
Yeah.
Which is somewhat hurtful. But.
I mean, I also think that there's something to be said about while it's a historic building, and I'm not of the mind to see historic buildings fall in any kind of way.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't the Library of Alexandria or something like that, where most of the world's knowledge got lost in one massive fight.
Set the world back 1,000 years by losing everything. Yeah.
I mean, that can be the Notre Dame Cathedral could be rebuilt a little bit, and people who visit in the future wouldn't even necessarily know that there was a fire unless they say about it. Something tells me they're going to be able to do some restoration work to make it look like it did.
Oh, of course, yeah. But I'll know.
You'll know,
it's not the original. Maybe the next generation won't, but I'll know. And poor Quasimodo, who knows what's happened to him?
He's on the ground. I'm on fire. You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby.
Too soon, Cory. Help me, Jesus. Help me, Tom Cruise.
Help me, Jewish God.
By the way, telling our age, I wonder how many younger people have no idea what that movie is.
I don't know.
That would hurt my feelings if I found out. Anyway, so from one church to another, and from your kind of church to my kind of church, the Egyptian Theater is on the market.
Yes.
And it looks like it has a buyer. Another religious institution, Netflix.
Boom.
Yes. They have their music. They have their listen. I give 10% of my fucking earnings to them. I will before this is over with.
There's sort of like the bum is sort of like the also with you of Netflix religion. Yeah.
And they get a little judgy. Like maybe you should take a break. Sure, you don't want to go outside? Listen, Netflix, don't judge my life. Next episode, please.
I don't give a shit. It's 4:30 in the morning. I want to continue watching BoJack Horseman with it.
I'll tell you when I'm ready to stop, all right? I can stop anytime I want. I don't have to watch it. But Netflix is rumored to be looking at and possibly making a purchase of the Egyptian Theater here in Hollywood, California. Mm-hmm. And you and I took different tacks on why that might be. You took the tact of, maybe they're going to make a, so for those of you who don't know, we've only covered it about, every 4 or 5 episodes or so on the podcast. But movie theaters do not make money from the selling of tickets to see the movie.
A little bit.
Very little, though.
Yeah.
The selling of tickets is the way to make money for the movie makers so that they continue to make movies that they then send to the movie house for a cost, of course. But the way that the movie house makes money is by selling concessions.
Yeah.
And so your theory was, they can make this like members only club where if you have a Netflix subscription, and by the way, you could log in, guaranteed like, hey, put your password in here. Yeah, cool. Just hang on a second. Hey, Dad. Yeah. What's the
Netflix password again?
But yeah, you have to be able to log in, but that you could go in for free because those movies are also available on Netflix or will be soon, so you can go see them and then.
I mean, I just think that everyone's talking about how Netflix is killing the theater going experience,
right?
Which I don't really think it has. I just think that the theater going experience sort of ebbs and flows with how good the movies are.
Also, don't give us uncomfortable ass seats. We put up with that for a long time. Then I could stay on my couch. Yeah. So I'm going to stay on my couch. But we went to Studio Movie Grill the other week. Boy, was that an experience.
Yeah.
Basically like being on my couch, except for God knows I can't get anybody to cook for me at home. So it was better than that because I got chicken tenders.
But I mean, like we also did that in, remember when we did like the Landmark?
Yeah.
We went to the Landmark and saw RBG and they had it in like sort of the couch screening room, which is nice.
Yeah.
I've done the same thing at iPick. They sort of have like the couches that you can, it's almost like a bed you can lay on.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's going to be about to be the most expensive nap I ever took.
I never felt quite so gentrified as I did the moment I was watching Straight Outta Compton at the iPick, like lounging in my couch with my grapes.
Yes, being fed by a half
Go ahead, entertain me, Eazy-E.
But yeah, so they're stepping up, and yes, you know what? The movie going experience has changed because you dealt us a lot of shitty hands.
I just feel like if Netflix, once a week, they would probably have some sort of event where they would sell tickets and you would want to go see, fucking Donald Glover is going to be here for the premiere of his new Netflix original movie. And he's going to do questions afterwards, and they sell tickets for that.
Sure.
And people will go see. Or, on like a Monday through Thursday where there's really no traffic in the theater.
Yeah.
Just say like, at 6:00 we're showing, Umbrella Academy. On Tuesday, we're going to be showing this new movie that we just released.
Yep.
And if you have a membership to Netflix, you walk in the door and you enjoy the movie just like you would if you bought the ticket.
Yep.
And then Netflix gets, money from concessions and stuff like that. And I think that it would be an interesting... what's smart about this is that it opens up Netflix on so many different grounds for the next step and whatever somebody's going to heave at them.
Yeah.
So... Spielberg sort of famously, post Oscars after Roma had won many awards, went back on his like, well, I don't think Netflix is, they should really be up for Emmys as opposed to Oscars because it's like, they're more of TV than they are movies. Even their movies are kind of like TV movies. And the argument being that like, Netflix doesn't really show itself in theaters. It always showed itself enough to qualify for Academy Awards. But now, especially if they own their own theater, they wouldn't have to worry about like not qualifying for that.
And they're just going to spend $12 billion on content this year. Yeah. They got what we like to call, fuck me money, where you're just wasting it just to waste it.
They don't have fuck me money. They have other people's fuck me money.
Yes,
that's the other part. Like at some point, like I just like to imagine that the guy, one of the people who's like funding Netflix, the oil magnate who's like funneling all his money into Netflix is just like, all right, so I gave $25 million to Netflix last year. Let's see how the company is looking here on the, wait a minute, they're in the red by $8 billion? Are they planning on becoming profitable at any point?
It's a loss leader. It's a loss leader.
Nope, they're just going to keep losing money until eventually they make it. All right, it seems like a weird strategy, but it's like the same exact strategy as MoviePass. It's like, we're going to spend so much money, it's going to be completely unattainable, and we're never going to earn it back. But eventually we will, somehow. It's just like,
I think Netflix is
all right.
I think Netflix is close to profitability. I think that they're on the verge.
I really think what Netflix is trying to do is spend like crazy to build up as much of a catalog as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Prior to everything going, because I mean, right now we already have between Netflix and Amazon, and Hulu, and we're gonna have we have CBS All Access. We have.
Have you tried that, by the way?
No,
I'm getting it my free trial.
Are you?
It's $5.99 a month.
Yeah, I mean, like it's the kind of thing like there's a couple shows I'd want to see on it, but I'd rather just get the free trial and like burn through it and see if I like.
So I said this weekend I was going to get the free trial because I really just want to like watch Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone and then the Star Trek thing. But then I remembered, oh fuck, Game of Thrones this weekend, so I can't do that this weekend because I can't just sit and burn through everything. I'm going to be thinking the whole time like I should be watching Game of Thrones. I should be catching up. Maybe next weekend though. Next weekend I'll burn through the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean like I loved The Good Wife, and then. I watched the last episode of The Good Wife, and then I didn't like The Good Wife anymore.
Yes.
And then
do you like Christine Baranski's?
I love Christine Baranski, and I love I can't. Is it Cash Jumbo or Cush Jumbo? I can't remember. And
do you like to assassinate Trump?
I don't imagine. Somebody knew exactly what they were doing when they put that one out there, and I'm curious as what their long-term plan was. I don't think they thought that far.
I know they had one. Question is, what was it?
This is going to get a lot of attention on the internet.
Okay.
So like, all right. So after that step, it's like first, steal underwear. Second step, step 3, profit.
Yes.
It's very.
Also, you work for Sumner Redstone, who is a very, very conservative man. Maybe not the tact I would take.
Or maybe they're going to have a storyline where they assassinate the president. I mean, like
maybe.
Apparently, Christine Baranski's character is getting into more of like the extreme left of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
So maybe
by the way, listen, jackoffs, stop pretending like you know what extreme leftism looks like, because it's not Christine Baranski going to a couple of meetings in her power
Dior
suit. Yeah, fucking A. God damn it! I hate all of you so much. But yes, back to the subject at hand.
Yeah.
Netflix. Now, I made the argument that I think that this really is just fuck me money, where they are telling the Academy, change your rules. Change your rules for us, because we're going to have this theater. We're going to meet your rules for certain movies that we're going to put out. We're not going to need anyone else to do it. Although, as you pointed out, it's definitely an antitrust problem after Paramount, US v. Paramount. But also, not really prosecuting the antitrust stuff anymore. So
yeah, I mean, I wonder if they think that maybe having theaters is not part of a violation because you're not paying for the service.
Also,
like maybe that's the legal argument that Netflix lawyers are like getting into.
Or
they're just like, if we have a club, which is essentially what we have a club that you belong to, that gives you access to the movies online, then access to the club can happen in many different venues. Like if I have a gym membership to 24-hour fitness, I can go to any 24-hour fitness or Gold's Gym or something like that. Like,
I can go on Netflix I could go on your computer and watch my Netflix account.
Yeah.
There's no stopping me. Or they're going to make the El Capitan argument.
Yeah,
it's
but
a
then
historic theater,
Yeah.
right? That they're going to spend a lot of money renovating.
see, but I think the El Capitan was also way prior to USV Paramount.
Yeah, no, that was the
I
whole
think
thing.
that's
is
part of the
it was
reason why it like
grandfathered
survived.
in.
Yeah,
But I don't know. One of two things may happen, though. They may fight the grandfathering and thus basically get the
Universal
El Capitan
opened
kicked
up a
out.
theater at the City Walk.
Yes.
which is like a Universal theater.
Yes.
And again, that somehow gets around USV Paramount too. And I think there had to be something in there about like small numbers of theaters being allowed to be owned,
Yep.
as long as it's not like a chain or equal a certain
So there
number
you
of
go.
the market share or something like that. But
And now Netflix is going to do the same thing.
yeah, I mean, I'm interested in seeing where this goes. It's one of those chess moves you forget about until you look at the whole thing like later.
Oh, you have $40 million to buy a historic theater. That's awesome. Cool.
I just hope that they do like Alamo Drafthouse did in The Mission in San Francisco and just keep the theater exactly the same. Don't change a thing. Like
That's one way to do it, I suppose.
I like how you walk into the Alamo Drafthouse in The Mission in San Francisco and you don't even know it's an Alamo Drafthouse until you get into a theater.
Okay.
And see like the Alamo logo on the screen, you know?
Yeah.
Like the marquee just still says Mission. Like everything looks like it's the theater from way back when.
I would like the more comfortable seats. That's what I want
Well,
to do.
the comfortable seats are there too. I'm just saying.
So
Like,
they didn't leave the original.
no.
upholstery and stuff.
They changed everything inside like the actual theater houses.
But
Like the experience of like walking
lobby.
in and seeing the old lobby and like there's a bar there and everything.
Okay.
Like it's very
okay, I'll take that. Well, one thing you're not going to be able to see there, any Disney movie, because those will not be allowed. Those are only available one place.
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, which is not exactly true, I suppose.
They eventually, I imagine, all Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, everything is going to find its way
They're
to
only
Disney
there.
Plus.
Yes.
Right now, I think they're just working on what rights they have right now and how rights will become available to them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like right now, you can watch Avengers on Netflix, and I don't know when that like deal expires. But then as soon as that deal does expire, I imagine it's right to Disney Plus.
Yes.
It's like, let's work out the rest of this contract with Netflix and then go back to Disney Plus, which is part of the reason why Netflix has to like build up on its original content, because soon enough, every studio is going to have its own streaming service, and every studio is going to be trying to make money off their catalog.
Yep.
And none of it will benefit Netflix. So
got to do what you got to do sometimes.
yeah, I still think that I feel like Netflix saves so many shows just by you being able to watch it. Like, you remember when Breaking Bad, like the first season, like nobody watched it?
The first couple of seasons.
Yeah.
It went to, I think, between season 2 and 3 or 3 and 4 is when it went to Netflix. And that's when people were like, hey, have you seen this show? It's like really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's will always be a place for that. The problem, though, is that now people see that maybe they're willing to pay more for it. And or they're going to ask for more for it.
Yeah.
And Netflix is still going to have a bottom line that they're going to have. I mean, theoretically, they're going to have a bottom line that they're going to have to hit at some point. So, got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean?
I am an investor. I'd like to talk to somebody about when you plan on turning a profit. Profit?
Wait, why would we need to worry about that? What's that about? Profit?
I don't think you understand. You can't be an artist and make profit at the same time.
Listen, this is the Silicon Valley model.
This is an artistic endeavor right here.
Yes.
This Netflix.
Yeah. But one other thing I wanted to talk about when we're talking about movies, Cinemia, trying to convince all of the friends to get Cinemia now.
Yeah.
And you're saying no to Cinemia.
I'm not saying no. I'm just saying that there is a patent lawsuit that is being filed right now from MoviePass against Cinemia. And I read an article not too long ago where they were talking to one of the founders of MoviePass, and one of the things one of the things they felt like was their best position for market stability was the fact that they had this patent like dead to rights. Like there was no way anybody else was going to do anything like MoviePass because they had the patent down so good. And MoviePass suing them makes me think that they feel like they can sort of like, close down Cinemia if they want to.
I
with
think
some
that,
sort of a lawsuit, and that the reason why Cinemia might be putting out this offer for basically what was the Netflix plan or the Movie Pass plan of $99.99 for 30 movies a month plus, and this one you get 3D and 4DX and any theater you want.
Yep. It's going to be good. Sweet.
It just seems like it's a lot of trying to get year-long subscriptions and then folding as a company.
I feel like they're going to have to give the money back, though, if they...
I mean, if they write it in their contract that, like, we're exempt from any kind of legal argument if we go bankrupt.
I'm going to have to read the TOS and figure out what the... but honestly, though, like... It's $99. It's $9.99, right?
Yeah.
And so a year is going to be what? $120.
Yeah.
How many movies will I have to see in the next month to make that worthwhile?
I mean, if you saw
10
5
movies?
at Regal,
5 at Regal.
yeah, you probably cover it.
Yes. And the fact that we could see a 4DX movie, which, by the way,
it's like $25.
$30. It's $28.99 for a single ticket. So I'm just going to see the next 3 things that come out in 4DX. I don't care what they are. I'm just going to go see them, and that's $90 of the $120 I need to cover.
Dumbo and 4DX, let's do it.
Oh God. Okay, yes, let's do it. I don't even want to see this movie in general, but I will go see it just to do it.
Just to burn Cinemia.
But I mean, yeah, it's like I think that just like Movie Pass, whatever I've paid over the lifetime, and I'm still a paying member of Movie Pass because I found out about the lawsuit that you have to be a current current paying member to be a part of. I'm waiting for them to approve the class. Might get back all of my fees, everything.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Certifying the class, right?
Yeah, well, they have to certify the class.
Yeah.
And then basically I could end it because at the point that they certify the class, I'm a part of it, and then I can choose to stay or not. But, what was I saying? I don't really get, but like Cinemia, Movie Pass. There was 1 month where we saw 17 movies in 31 days.
Yeah.
That has paid for every month I have spent this. You know what I mean? Like 17 movies at Regal at $18 a piece. Mm-hmm. And we paid $9.99 for that 1 month. Like that is paid for every single month. It's like they really didn't
think of their business plan.
Really, I mean, and that's Cinemia thing. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's not a. But they say that they found the money spot. That this is a spot. Because there are people who are paying for the 3-a-month plan, and it's cheaper, but they don't actually use all 3. Like it's the people who don't use it where they make their money. Mm-hmm. That's not me. You have made a mistake if you think I am the one you're making money on. I'm the one you're losing money on, but I'm the one who raves about it to all of their friends on the internet.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
I mean, I would probably sign up. I would really like to just go over it a little bit more, like just a little bit. Just do a terms of service scan and see what's in there. Just because I would feel really dumb if I like on a Wednesday purchased it and then on a Thursday found out that they're going out of business or that they've agreed to merge with Movie Pass and Movie Pass is not honoring any of these.
I'm going to pay for it on PayPal, and that way you have the PayPal guarantee, right? Where like they'll let you back out after 72 hours or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
And then I'm going to go see 4 3D movies in 72 hours, and it'll pay for itself no matter what. Same movie 3 times, 4 times.
Genius.
So I just can't find my way around it. It's worthwhile. I've made it worthwhile. Anyway, to more. Let's close out with some serious news. Although I think this is a full hour. I think we've done the full hour.
Should we lightning round it? Like,
it's really just two topics. Both are political. Mueller Report due out Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really.
I'm
anything
sure
to
it's
say.
going to be the unadulterated full report. So I think we can look forward to that, right?
Yeah, I would not hold your breath for anything really incredible.
Yes.
Because think about it this way. Either I've heard things like it's a 400-page report. If we get a 100-page report, that might be enough to sort of give people the feeling that they've gotten all the best information without actually giving anything.
Yep.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't imagine we hear anything on Thursday that really makes anyone feel better. It's just going to continue along the same thing that we did when Barr did his sort of roundup of the Mueller report.
Yes.
It's going to be the same thing. Like Trump wins, Democrats are salty. They're trying to get every, the full report and the underlying info and blah, 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 blah. Like it'll just continue like this for a while.
I feel like we're going to get the Black Bar report too. It's going to all be redacted.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, well, we gave you 100 pages. Yeah, but like
100 pages with not a single name in it.
70% of it was redacted out, and all of the names were redacted.
Wouldn't it be funny if like every single name was redacted except for Jared Kushner?
Trump's just like, I've had enough of this asshole.
Fuck him.
Throw him under the bus.
Nobody fucks my daughter but me.
That's the president of the United States, everybody. May or may not have actually had sex with his daughter. The other story of the week. Look for that on Thursday if they actually come out with it on Thursday, and also if it is anything at all, which I have doubts that it will.
If there is anything, we'll talk about it next week while we're high.
Yes. I'm sure that'll be no hot takes at all. This very interesting story that I heard this week. That AOC, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, and the amount of news coverage she's getting on Fox News, which apparently has been 8 hours. Is that what you said? 8 hours of the past 6 months?
No, it was the last 3 months. In the beginning of this year, it's been 8 hours of coverage of Ocasio Cortez, which basically means that they'll do a 5-minute segment or something like that. That's sort of how TV is broken up.
Yes.
So if they have a little round table where they're talking about her for 5 minutes, it's hard to get yourself updated. You have to really be in the news all the fucking time to get up to that much airtime.
Yeah. I mean, Trump might be the only other person who's getting that much airtime.
Yeah, especially on Fox News. Yeah. And he's the president, which makes it easy enough to have a segment about him every show, essentially.
Yep. Especially because he shouts you out all the time.
Yeah.
So, there's that.
But yeah, between Ocasio Cortez and Omar in Minnesota.
Ilhan Omar?
Yeah. The Fox apparently has just been spending crazy amounts of time talking about the two of them.
And you would think, I don't know, that you'd focus on, your people, the Republicans, who have difficult races, who are going to be in spots as the elections come up. But no, let's just focus on the two ladies from the other party.
Yeah, I when I heard about this story, I had one thought. I've been listening to Pod Save America for a while, and for as long as I've been listening to them, they've had the long running thing of talking about how awful and depraved Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan were and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And how they would go into discussing them in terms of they have a malice that they don't care about anybody except for making more money for corporate America and the people, the Koch brothers and the people who finance their super PACs and blah, 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 blah. And while I agree that clearly,
also true, yes.
Clearly there is a strong argument to be made that the Koch brothers have a huge amount of influence over Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell, and that corporate resources are funneled way more into the Republican side to try and get what they want.
Yes.
I think you could make the same sort of argument of somebody who's complaining about the negative coverage that AOC is getting on Fox that you could about Paul Ryan or something or Mitch McConnell on a Pod Save America type of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's we're talking about how horrible and just wrong these people are, and they don't think about the rest of the country and what they could be doing to make things better, and taking healthcare away from people. And it's just if you really knew Paul Ryan, and I don't know him, I don't know where he exactly stands. Maybe he doesn't give a shit, but I imagine if you were Paul Ryan's brother and you had a conversation with him about healthcare, he would say, I want as many people to have healthcare as possible. I just don't want to shut down a independent. I want to shut down all these healthcare companies, which employ 1/6 of the economy, at the idea of doing a Medicare for all and what kind of flux that could have. He might have specific ideas as to what he wants out of it. but it's not it's the instant vilification is going to be so much easier to go to than it will be to try and figure out his point or try and make his point for him. For
some Republicans, I would agree with you. For Paul Ryan, I think that it's actually just fuck poor people as much as possible.
I feel like there's a lot of who was that Republican who just got into it this week or something like that? Oh God.
Which one? With who?
He was on the floor and he was like asking somebody. I can't even remember what the context was now. It's going to drive me nuts.
No, but I'm tired to think.
Yeah, clearly too sick to think. I would say this. If you want to see somebody, what I like about AOC is that she is really good at talking, or really good at questioning on the floor.
Did you see
another
the other
one you should see is Katie Porter?
Yes,
dealing with the president of Chase.
Yes.
Ooh,
that was good.
Ooh, that was delightful watching her take.
By the way, he seemed not unimpressed, unaffected by it.
Yeah,
and I was just like, "Are you a psychopath? Like, at what point do you just have to be like, nothing bothers me. I just murder people in general. Okay, I mean, like, yes, he does. Not personally, but he does murder people. But he seemed completely unaffected by it. And I didn't know how to deal with that, I think that was the problem. I didn't know how to deal with it. You know what
I imagine he was doing in his mind right there is starting to do the math. So he was like, Katie Porter's argument was that somebody who was in her district, which was like Anaheim, Orange County area, if somebody got a job as a teller at a Chase Bank, they would make $15 an hour or something like that, and how much everything would cost and how quickly they would be in the red. And I think the overall number was like $587 in the red
without having to
without
account for a lot of things.
Yeah, like no health care, no prescriptions, no clothes, no anything. Like basic living expenses, $587 in the red.
Yep.
And I imagine that the CEO of Chase there was just sort of going like, I have 50,000 employees. So if I have to pay $587 extra for 50,000 employees, and this isn't going to end with me just paying $587. Because if I said, you know what, you're absolutely right, Katie Porter, I should be paying my employees better. I didn't even think about it in these terms until you brought it up to me.
Right.
I'm going to make sure that people in the same situation as this hypothetical woman you said are going to get paid $600 more a month. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, well, why isn't it $900 more a month? She's not doing enough work. You make $30 million a year in your corporate share, blah, 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 and you can't make it $900 a month for this employee?
To be fair, I agree with that.
No, I'm not saying that it's not an unreasonable argument to be made, but it's you give even a little bit and you're going to have to open yourself up to this line of questioning throughout the entire thing. So him trying to protect his $30 million a year is going to have to just be like, I'm sorry, she's having problem with her finances. Maybe if she went to school, she would be able to get a better paying job.
That's exactly how he should respond to that.
Yeah, and then she'd be like, oh, really? Because she does have student loan debt that is not being calculated into this as well. So,
oh, my. Yeah, no. Anyway, it was good. It was a good questioning, if nothing else.
Yeah, and AOC is another one, and that's honestly why I imagine the Republicans are so scared of the two, like Omar, AOC, maybe Katie Porter after this one.
Yeah.
Just because people who bring up very real, linear questions are a rare breed in the Congress.
Yes.
It is like, how many congressional testimonies have you watched where you just watch somebody like ask question after question after question, and you're just like, dude, fucking figure it out. Like, just.
And it's not that they ask question after question after question. A lot of times it's like the same question is often. And sometimes it's like you're not even asking the question that you're asking. Like, you should know better how to question somebody. You were a lawyer.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? And I've lost faith in the whole process.
The other one was like a good example of this was when Cohen testified recently.
Yeah.
And all the Republicans just spent all their time going like, why should we believe you?
Yeah.
If you're going to jail for lying to Congress before, why should we believe that you're telling the truth right now? Which is like a perfectly reasonable point to bring up once or twice, maybe.
But not everybody.
The fact that there would be like people that like in one line of questioning where they would just be like, Jim Jordan, the floor is yours. He's just like, why should we believe you? It's just like, well, I'm here to tell the truth now. Yeah, I mean, that sounds exactly what you would say if you were in this position. But really, why should I believe you? Like, just ask the question 9 more times in 9 different ways.
Out of time. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next Republican. So let me ask you, why should I believe you?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, this is the one thing you have to say. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like one question where it's just like, I'm a little bit worried I might be caught up in a little Trump tidal wave of malfeasance as well. What would you recommend I do to protect myself? Just one person who's just like stuck. If you were Devin Nunes, the floor is yours. It's just like, say you went a little bit too deep with the president and you felt like backing out a bit. What would you recommend to somebody like that? Just say the guy's name is Tevin.
Yeah.
Tevin Nunez.
Did you make his name more Spanish?
Well, he doesn't accent his.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because me and Roberto had a conversation about
There's no tilde.
Yeah, because he's Nunez.
Nunez.
Yeah.
Devin Nunez. Well, anyway.
Unlike Oreo, Renato Nunez.
Only, what, 2 years left of this?
Only a month and a half away from maybe having a year and a half away from having another election.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
And, as has been pointed out to me so many times, the sea's rising. So, just pray for that. Just pray for that. At this point, we're just hoping for 6 meters of sea change, and then we'll be free of this whole nonsense. So it doesn't even matter.
Well, talking about free of this whole nonsense, you know where you can go?
Wait. Where?
OTheAnthem.com. Cory to OTheAnthem.com. O The Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the listener line, 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
443-219-7595. You can find more of me on my website.
Go.
Find more of me on my website, CoryBakerFilmmaker.com, Facebook.com/CoryBakerFilm, and at LegendCB5 on Twitter, Instagram. Haven't seen a movie recently, but maybe go tomorrow or Wednesday or something. I don't know.
If I get some sleep, yes.
Yeah, I'd like to find something good and then see it and then make a review. So
Dumbo,
keep an eye out.
Let's do it.
Colin Farrell's in this.
And of course, you can find more of me, although less tired, at Robert and Cheek on our social networks. Don't check out robertandcheek.com because apparently not working, and I need to work on that, as well as many other projects. But you can check out my books, which are available on Amazon.
Buy Rose books.
And the new one will be up by the time you're hearing this, hopefully, if I don't go home and fall asleep. So there's that.
Well, I think we've done good here today.
We've done something. I don't know if it's good. But as always, you're listening to the O The Anthem podcast, part of the O The Anthem Digital Network. For Cory, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody.
All right.
Yeah,
Time for some electrolytes and fainting.
Yeah, we really just stumbled across the finish line here in week 1 of season 6. We're not pulling any Game of Thrones. That's what I'll say. But thank you guys for listening anyway.
Setting up for the long haul.
Thanks so much.